Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast. As you see, I'm outside just getting some fresh air and I wanted to come on really fast and just chat a little bit with you about, just a little bit about my previous musical projects and uh, just a few lessons and things that I think are helpful to keep in mind that you can take from that, and a little bit about what's next, just so I don't leave you in limbo, because a lot of people don't know the work that goes into things, and not to any fault of their own, right? But it's a lot of hard work. And I wanted to also talk about how I view what I've done, because you often hear people give their feedback. Some people judge your work in the quiet, in the shadows, and some people come forward and openly express their thoughts. And so I want to share mine as well. And so, one of the things, first, I want to say, this is something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid. A lot of you are, recently kind of met me, whether we met in person or you just stumbled across my YouTube channel, because everybody that I've had subscribers and people that have been consistently watching what I've been doing for years now, long before I started the music thing, or did my podcast or anything like that. So to you that may be watching, I appreciate your relentless support and showing up and being consistent. Because I've had this channel since, I want to say, maybe 2014, 2013, around that time. And I've been doing a lot of different things, so it's awesome to be able to have longevity. But I didn't think I would do it this soon, as far as like making putting singles out and doing an album. Is something that I've dreamed about since I was a kid. Um, I didn't have much musical guidance growing up. Well, I did attend vocal coaching here and there, so I was able to learn and glean different strategies to improve my singing abilities. I got a little bit of piano practice, so a little bit of musical theory. I was always in choir class in school, so I was very involved in music intentionally. Because some people, they come from musical homes where they're able, their parents, their mother or father, or they teach them piano, they teach them guitar, and everybody in their house is singing, and they have a family group and all those types of things that are great. And I just didn't have that at all, so I had to be proactive because I knew I had the love for it myself, and um I knew when I was young that it was a gift that I had, and I knew that God blessed me with talent. I just had to. I knew that if I didn't try to cultivate it and try to figure out how to develop myself, I would have either got really discouraged and just stopped, or I would not know like my potential, and and things like that. So I've come a long way, and so that's when I say, often heard me say, "Promises," the album that I recorded last year. It's monumental, and it's sentimental to me because it represents more than what you may realize. A lot of you that have been enjoying the music, I put it out so you can hear it, of course, and enjoy it. But to me, it's personal. Every song is personal. Some of those songs, or yeah, most of those songs I wrote last year, along with the process, and I wrote them intentionally to reflect sentiments that I feel. So when I put the music out, I'm able to listen back and encourage myself, and sense the nostalgia from it, especially stylistically. I intentionally wanted to make sure that stylistically, musically, it was music that I enjoyed and I was inspired by, which is why, like, I love the ballads. Like, Loved by You is a very, like, 90s inspired ballad style song. I love, like, the worship style music, like Free. That's why I really wanted to have one of those, like Worship the King. I was inspired, of course, Great is the Promise is another 90s ballad style song. So, it was a Praise Goes Up, which is which represents the cultural side of what I enjoyed growing up as well. So it was a lot of that, which is why it's monumental and sentimental for me. So, I'm just so grateful that I was able to do it. And, you know, listening back to those songs though, um, I still have to get better. You still have to improve. Like, you're not going to just master something overnight. But I knew that if I didn't do it myself, and with God gave me the strength to do all of it and guidance, and I prayed and over many different all the parts of this project I prayed over and I asked God to help me, and He did truly do that and encourage me. But if I really didn't try, I would never would. I don't think anybody would have came to my aid. And they don't necessarily have to, right? Nobody has to swoop in and save the day and figure it all out for you. You just have to have the passion and the determination to accomplish it. And that's why I could keep this all private. I could just put the music out and act like it was nothing. But I really want to dissect this journey, and I have been dissecting the journey on purpose and intentionally, because I don't want to be selfish with the knowledge. I don't want to be selfish with this experience, because I know how much it would help me if I knew somebody that would let me in and give me a window to look in, to see the schematics of what they had to go through to make it happen, so I could get a heads up, you know, and not just from the glamorous sides, just from all different angles of it. And that's why I do that. But it's just, I'm so grateful for, one thing about me, whether support is long term, short term, whatever it may be, I really try to soak in the good and just go with that. Um, all the songs that I have done, I of course, the artist is the harshest critic, right? We are harder on ourselves than the public is. That's normal. But even I don't think that I would go back and change the process that I had went through, because it was what it taught me was so valuable. Even from a musical standpoint, I listen back to Promises and all the other songs, and I'm like, oh goodness, like, okay, if now I know I would do this different. Now I know I would fix that. Now I know this is the kind of mix that I need for my songs. This is how now I know, like, okay, don't work with these kind of people. Now I know, like, so it's all these compilations of things that I look back and I'm like, sometimes I'm a little hard on myself, like, because I know these songs are not mixed and mastered necessarily, or even recorded, or musically, I'm like, I wish I would have done this, I wish I'd done that. I wouldn't. A part of me wouldn't call it perfect, and you know, as an artist, you want your things to be solid and tight, but you got to be realistic, and you have to give yourself an opportunity. I just what I'm trying to say is I didn't want to rule myself out and deprive myself until some record label wanted to pick me up, until somebody wanted to actually give me advice and actually walk me through the process and actually give me sound criticism and support. Because what if that day never came? Like, let's just be honest, right? What if no one ever swoops in to help you? Are you going to suffer in silence, or are you just going to try your best and let it run its course? Because there's no artist that just swoops in out the gate with their first projects, first musical ventures, and everything's flawless, right? I mean, just generally speaking, you have to be willing to not be perfect to develop into perfection, right? It's a process. But like I said on a previous podcast, a lot of people are so gung ho about appearing perfect to people that they shoot themselves in the foot, for the lack of better words, right? It's kind of like you deprive yourself. But one of the things that we often forget is that tomorrow's not promised. Your talent isn't promised. There are people that are amazing and talented musicians and singers, and they play and they sing as if they are owed tomorrow, not realizing, I mean, look, you may be so shy that you only want to sing in your car, you only like to sing in the shower, you only want to sing in your own privacy because you're extremely shy and you've been this way for years, and you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that, and you're scared of judgment, you're scared of criticism, and you're this and you're that, until you really, really, like, have that switch to go off in your head to realize, like, hey, I could literally just lose my voice tomorrow. I could literally lose my hearing tomorrow. I could literally lose my sight tomorrow. And for the people that actually have a deep rooted passion for what they do and the gifts that is in them, you're going to hurt the most because of that, if that ever becomes your circumstances. And I don't know. Me personally, I just didn't. I don't. That scares me enough into trying, regardless of how people may view my skills or regardless of people's critique as to what I should do and how I did it and whether it was good enough or whether they can do it better. I don't. I'm not bothered about that. So I'm just kind of trying to give you a little bit of my resolve, so you can kind of just have a peek into that rationale. So maybe that can give you a different perspective on that. But I'm just and I want to say too, you know, eliminate trying to be impressive to people. Make sure that's not a factor into this, because it's easy to say, "Oh, it's for God's glory." Oh, be real, okay? There's a part of you and I that actually care about our music and our art and our creativity, that we want it to be, naturally speaking, well. We want it to look good, sound good, feel good, all those things. So it's not just a get the glory dot. Like it's there's a whole lot wrapped up into giving God glory for artists. It's packaging everything we do to the best of our ability. Packaging what we do to the best of our ability and packaging it to perfection to people is two different things. And the latter is what people get stuck on. So I want to encourage you, doing the best you can is something worth doing and being proud of, versus trying to meet excellence by people's standards. I mean, it'll come. A day will come after a while, God willing, where you master the arts, you master your craft, you master your sound, you master exactly how, like, God, if it's God's will that I do music in the future, and whatever my ambitions may, and wherever my ambitions may end up, it's going to sound perfected, over time. But you can't get to the future without going through time, right? It's not like you're here, then tomorrow's the future. Like, you have to go through a process. And when I look back at my music, I want to be able to look back at 20 years from now, God willing, and be proud that I actually had the guts to try virtually on my own, because it wasn't like I had a whole crew of people lined up to support my music and support my productions and support. I spent a pretty penny, because it was worth it to me to work with people that respected me, respected my talent, respected my work, respected my vision, respected my time. These are the things that mattered to me. And I learned very fast that the quality of people, the quality of things that you involve into your creativity matters more than the convenience of it. So, yeah, I just really hope that that can resonate with you, even if it's in a broader sense, not just music, obviously. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say as well. Um, yeah, I can't remember, but it's okay. We don't have to just stare at me. But if you don't get anything from this little blurb, I guess is, you know, just, it's not the end of the world, when things don't really turn out the way you hoped. But if you can say that you tried, you've already done more than most people ever will. Because most people will live their lives wishing they did. It's true. People, like, there are people that will get older and realize, oh, all that mysterious and me being super shy, it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. And all they had to do was just really sit and think about it. It's not worth it, in my opinion, to squander the time you have wrestling with, what people will think, or how it may make you look, and things like that. So it's just, there are people that you will come across that really do want you to do well, and enjoy the journey for you. And then there are people that are waiting for you to fail and waiting for you to and be embarrassed and waiting for you to, this is why I want to really emphasize, and I said this to people often, like, the power is in what you give people the power in. And one of the things I'm the conclusions that I'm coming to, as I continue to age, is, it sounds like a line, but people's opinions generally really don't matter. And we live in an age where fear has such a stronghold on us. This is not just for young people. I know there's some older folks that maybe watch my podcast, and I want to make sure you're not excluded out the conversation, because when we talk about these things, sometimes people kind of classify themselves outside of these conversations because of their maturity levels and whatnot, but that's not the case. Everybody can surely relate to this. But it's I think it's just important to be a very, very, like, passion driven individual, and remember that one of the things that keep me, I'll say this too and I'll be done. One of the things that keep me stabilized for the most part when it comes to doing things like this that you see is that I know that people's love, people's support, people's kindness, people's the way people show up, and all these things, it's volatile. It's not always sound. It's not always stable. So what you do for Christ, right? What you do to give God glory, what you do, you just if you can't take anything else, whatever you do, don't do it for people. Do it sincerely for God's glory, and so you will have an inner peace and satisfaction with the work you've done, and what you've accomplished, because people will love you one day and they will turn on you the next. It really, listen, it's quicker. People have more, I see it all the time on Facebook, in church, out of church. People are more excited, and they find more energy to invest their time, to invest their comments, to invest sharing your videos, to invest liking and antagonizing and gossiping when it comes to bad news, when it comes to failures of yours, when it comes to embarrassing moments, when it comes to, you know, shocking news, whatever it may be. When people grasp that holds more substance to most people versus when you try, when you succeed. This is why, like, you that have YouTube videos and social media that are trying to get out there and do things. This is why you find, you know, when it's something scandalous, or when you something maybe that is not your proudest moment, or whatever it may be, or some sort of collaboration or something like that, that those are the things that piques people's interest versus just the things that seem like wins and small victories to you, and things that you may be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just you. I'm just, because there's a lot of people that they see the same thing, because it's really, it's already been done. Somebody's already gone through that. But I just want you to know, when you find peace and purpose individually as an individual, and let that steer you, then, if I can use the phrase, you're unstoppable. Um, I literally watch my podcasts back to encourage myself, because I have very, very low days, but I don't hear people talking about things like this too much. So I'm glad I at least have a way to communicate this to you, as well as encourage myself on those days where I'm sitting where you're sitting. So I'm just appreciative of all your support. Again, I'm still not tired of saying that, because it's sincere. It's how I feel. And I'm just grateful again. I mean, it's not like I ain't really make a whole bunch of money or nothing from the music I've been doing. And that was never my intent, to like make money from my music, because it's a different conversation. But just to see that if some of y'all actually took time to download and purchase the albums, and download my singles and share it with people because I see, for the most part, I see like when people share my songs and stuff like that, I'm like, whoa, like, oh my gosh, so it's humbling because I put a lot of hard work into them, especially considering I have to make all these executive decisions by myself and I'm a novice. I don't I've been in studios where people, they don't correct me or they don't offer to guide me because I'm not their friend. You know how it is when you're not someone's buddy. It's like you're at the bottom of the totem pole. It's like, that's kind of me. I've experienced that though since I was very young, being pushed to the side by people or whatever because I didn't really have much growing up and whatnot. So it's something that God prepared me to deal with now, which I'm grateful for. Looking back at my childhood, it served me well to develop thick skin when it comes to things like that. But at the same time, I'm glad I took the chance to take that journey. So I just want to say I appreciate y'all being so kind, and it makes me happy to know that just a few of you have been resonating with the music, I'm a very very against the overzealous stuff. So if you see me delete comments, that's on purpose, okay? Because I really want to foster a positive, welcoming to all. My YouTube channel is not just church folks. I'm going to constantly emphasize that it's not just for church people. It's for I know where I stand, but I want to make sure everybody feels welcome to listen to my music, to listen to the podcast and things like that. I don't have a narrow-minded vision when it comes to the broadness of what I aspire to do and who I aspire to be. That's just me. So I'm just grateful for all of your kindness and your patience, and you know, I have thoughts about the stalkers, but I appreciate you too. So everybody has their role, and I'm grateful. I didn't think I would have this level of maturity at this point in my life to be able to do this like this because I've been doing YouTube for a long time, but different things I was doing. But I'm glad I came full circle and I didn't quit. You know, so try to take it easy. Try to be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself because people are not. People are not patient. People expect you to just you know get over it and man up and just tough it out and be this and be that overnight. But you be patient with yourself. You'll last way longer than those folks. Trust me. Yeah, yeah. That's something I tell myself often. So I appreciate you again. May God bless you, and see you on the next one, Lord willing. Bye.